me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, what we're going to talk about this morning? Well, we're going to talk about this guy who's on the run over in Australia, Dezi Freeman. He's a bad man. I've had a few comments from people who sympathise with him. Sorry, it's just beyond me. So they sympathise with Dezi, but yeah, what would you do tomorrow if you had a problem? Would you phone Dezi and ask him to come and help you, or would you phone the police? I just don't get this thing. We have to hold the police accountable. The police are agents of the state, but do you know what government is supposed to be? What's the word? By consent. This man's not going to help you if you need help. He doesn't give a shit about anybody about him except himself. Doesn't even care about his own family. I think his family are better off without him, to be honest. So, he's murdered 2 policemen. And whether you like the police, you don't like the police, but the police are individuals, they're human beings just like everybody else. Some of them are nice, some of them are horrible, just like in every walk of life. But it's no excuse to murder a human being, is it? And Dezi, is one of these people. He's anti-state, but he takes advantage of all the things that the state has to offer, benefits, freedom of speech. He quotes laws left, right and centre. When you watch him talking, he's quoting the law, this, that and the other. Well, do you believe in the state or not? We do have to have laws and we do have to have a state, and it'll never be perfect. But some states are better than others. At least we can say that we're pissed off with things, without being shot. Though I think that might be what's eventually going to happen to Dezi. And I don't want that to happen to him. I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody. I'm not, but you know what? You can only see that maybe this is what's going to happen to him, because he's murdered 2 policemen. And to be honest, whether he'd murdered 2 policemen or 2 people in normal civilians, doesn't matter. He's murdered 2 people. You don't do that in our society and get away with it, or you shouldn't get away with it, whether you murder people through, crime of passion, terrorism, which I think they're probably treating Dezi's case as. I don't want him to die. I don't want him to be shot. He's a father at the end of the day. He's got children, but then he has to give himself up, doesn't he? That's my opinion. Now, I'm entitled to an opinion. That's the other thing that I've realised is a lot of anti-state people, they rage on about free speech, don't they? But you're not allowed to have you're not allowed to disagree with them. They get nasty and they get, I've had quite a lot of nasty comments about this, which is, is unusual for me to get nasty comments, because I appreciate everyone's point of view. But quite a few nasty comments, it's like I'm not entitled to my view. They're only entitled to their view. Now, as far as I'm concerned, anyone's entitled to their view as long as they're respectful. If you're not respectful, then you will get kicked off my channel pretty quick. But if you're respectful and you say, oh, well, actually, I think Dezi's got a point, or because, fine. But why are you being so nasty? A lot of anti-state people, anti-this, anti-that, anti-everything. They're not for anything. A lot of them are unemployed and receiving benefits from the state. And if they're employed, then they have to try and change things. They have to, I don't know. Everyone's got a voice these days with social media. So you can make a voice, you can get a following. Maybe it's like knocking on the door of things that you'll never be able to change, but at least you can say your piece. So, please appreciate my point of view. This is my point of view. If you don't like my point of view, well, you try and explain the different way. What would you replace the state with? That's the other thing that I would say to people. Yes, the state can be oppressive, but what's the alternative? Anarchy? Someone like Dezi Freeman making you rules, telling you what you can do and what you can't do? No, thank you. I'd rather have a state. Okay, so that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. It's quite contentious, isn't it? But, you know, we're not scared of contentious subjects. We're just respectful, aren't we? So, first of all, I'm going to have a little waffle. So, for those of you who know my channel, you'll know there's always a little bit of waffle. I think I'm going to stop doing the waffle maybe, because now we've got the Discord community, and maybe I'll do my waffling on there. I haven't made, if I could find my way around Discord properly, do my waffling on there, because some people like the waffling. You know, the thing is, you know, I'm not just here for one person, or, you know, we are a community. Vicky Marie Chats is a community. Some people like waffles, some people don't. I try and please everyone. I do the lives, have always got a lot of waffle in them, but then I tend to cut them down and just release them as a video. So if you're a person who doesn't like the waffle, that's what you need to watch. Or just fast forward. You know, some people don't seem to have mastered, you know, that you can just fast forward a video. If a video starts and it's a lot of waffle and you don't like that, you just want to get to the crux of it, you know, use your phone or your computer or whatever you're watching on and just fast forward a bit. Cut out the waffle. You know, you don't have to listen to every moment. So yeah, bit of waffle this morning. You know, there's a drama every day in the Vicky Marie Chats world. And it wasn't drama, to be fair, today. It was just a runner. So those of you watch my channel regularly, and thank you for doing that. If you do, you'll know that recently my phone conked out. I had to buy a new phone. I did a stupid thing that, you know, I bought a cheap phone because I didn't have much money, because over the summer, I'm a Spanish teacher in my other life. That's my, you know, bread and butter. And of course, over the summer, people don't want to normally learn Spanish or learn anything because their brains. Oh, so by the way, if you don't know, I'm based in Spain, in mainland Spain. So it's very, very hot. It's still 27 degrees today, though it's quite cloudy. I think we're going to have some storms. But it has been 45 degrees. So do you know, that's, people don't want to study in that heat. So, and I don't want to teach, to be fair. So it's always a difficult time in the summer, like financially. And so I bought a cheap phone just to tide me over. So I had a phone to use for the WhatsApp, for the, you know, YouTube, etc. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I've put up with it for a few days. Last night it decided not to work at all. This is the new phone I'm talking about. It was so crapo. You know, it's definitely, I mean, not that I'm going to pay hundreds and hundreds for a new phone, because I won't be doing that. But I need to pay more than I paid for this phone. Anyway, so this morning I had to go through the runaround. If any of you have had to send anything back to Amazon, I won't be using Amazon again for a phone, I don't think, or not a cheap phone anyway. Anyway, to cut a long story short, so I've been up since 6:30 this morning trying to sort it out. It is sorted now. I took it back to the shop that you can post it off back to Amazon after having to get an etiquette printed out. Thing is, all the things that you've got to do to send back your item, they all needed me to take the phone to the shop where I was sending it back, but I haven't got a phone because it's the phone that I'm sending back, and I can't buy a new phone until I get the money back from the old phone. And my old phone works sometimes, doesn't work other times. So it was like that. But anyway, it's done. It's done. So this morning I've taken the dogs out for a nice walk. I have sorted this out and sent my phone back. I've been shopping. Oh, I've been, you know, so busy, and it's here in Spain. It's only 11:43. I feel like I've done a full day's work already. So after I've done this live, I was sort of umming and ahhing whether I would have time to do a live, but I like to do a live every day, really, because I know people, for some unexplained reason that I'm not quite sure of, people do enjoy the lives. So anyway, here I am, and I'm doing this live. And I did want to talk about this update in this Dezi Freeman case, because this is, you know, sweeping Australia. I have a lot of Australian followers. And we deal with a lot of manhunts, don't we, as well, not only in Australia, but over when the police are looking for someone. And, you know, Dezi's case is, as I say, you know, I've nothing against Dezi. If Dezi, I hope nothing untoward happens to Dezi. But the thing is, to avoid that happening, really, what he needs to do is give himself up, in my opinion, for the sake of his children and his wife. But if he's not going to do that, he's likely to end up, if the police find him, to be honest, I don't think they're going to hesitate probably in shooting him. Now, it seems like he has some help. He must be getting some help because he's been on the run for quite a long time, hasn't he? Anyway, that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'll finish with my waffle. I'm going to say my thank yous. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Please remember, let me put the like and subscribe button up. Please remember to like and subscribe. These, or unlike, if you want any sort of input you put on my channel, whether it's a like or a dislike, it all helps with the algorithm. So thank you for that. These are free ways you can help my channel progress. But also, as always, I want to say a special thank you to the members. Now, keep watching to the end, because I'm going to play a special song and video. A member of mine sent me a song in. I've got more songs than Desert Island Discs, as one of my other members said. You know, I'm very on the members' lives on a Thursday night. We have a little bit more of a lighter sort of session where we have a laugh, etc. You know, because talking the world of true crime, there's not many laughs normally, is there? So on a Thursday night in the members' live, it's more of a relaxed atmosphere. And one of my members had sent in a couple of songs. Well, it's one song, but two different versions of it. And I've put a video together for one of the versions, and I'm going to play it at the end here, because it's not strictly speaking a member song, but I'm just going to play it once. So I hope you like it. I hope you like the video. I know you'll like the song. But anyway, and I started putting together the other video for the other version of it. And that was very late last night, and my head wasn't working properly. So I'll do that during the week and probably premiere that on Thursday in the members live. So yeah, if you want to see the song, hear the song, watch the video, watch till the end. And why not become a member so you can join us on a Thursday night? So thank you also to those of you that have bought me a Ko-fi, sent me a super sticker, PayPal me, bought some merchandise. My merchandise is on my Ko-fi page, on the coffee page. What else? But thank you anyway that you support my channel in a positive way. And even you nasty people who send nasty messages or whatever, there's not many of you. But thank you, because you are contributing towards my algorithm. So I really appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Okay, so now I'm going to turn the banner off. I'm going to say my hellos, as is my wont. Let me turn that off actually as well. So, hello, lovely lurkers. So my lovely lurkers are the people that watch my channel. They're a bit nervous of coming into watch the lives, but a little bit nervous of coming into the chat, or maybe nervous to leave a comment. But I appreciate you watching anyway, and I appreciate that. You know, joining in the chat isn't for everyone. I understand that. But a big kiss for you. In fact, let's have a couple of kisses. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Then I want to say hello to the loathsome lurkers. They're probably the ones that would side for it with Dezi Freeman. Hello. You don't get a kiss. You probably don't want one, but I wouldn't give you a kiss whether it, you know, if my life depended on it. So then I want to say hello to Replay Crew. Thank you for watching on replay. If you couldn't make the live and you're watching on replay, thank you so much. Right, now I'm going into the chat. I'm going to say hello to the people that are brave enough to venture into the chat. Let's have a look. There's a lot of chatting going on. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Bluebell. Hi, Lily. Hi, Maria. Do you know what, Bluebell? I have no idea. Why do they sympathise? And honestly, I bet 100%. I bet they're on benefits as well. A lot of people who complain about. Listen, I'm not anti-benefits. This is something that I want to make clear. I'm not anti-benefits. I'm a socialist. I believe in benefits. I believe in the benefit system for people who need it. 100%. But what really pees me off a bit is when people receive the benefits from a state, whichever state it is, whether it be Australia, whether it be the UK, whether it be Spain, get whatever benefits are on offer and then criticise, the state that is looking after them. If you don't like it, go and live somewhere else. Immigrants get a lot of criticism for that, and I would be 100% with that. If someone's an immigrant, they go to live in a country and then they say how terrible that country is, or yeah, they deserve not to have their benefits stopped as well. Everybody does. But you cannot. I think as well is they're the only people with time to criticize the state. Benefits are for people who need them, and I'm 100% behind them. But yeah, don't criticize the state who's giving you the benefits. Go and live in a country that doesn't give any benefits. Then, it's like you can't criticize the state and take whatever it's got to offer or quote laws from that state. I mean, that's really irritating. It's like, oh, Dezi's full of what the laws are. He's entitled to this, he's entitled to that. Well, he's anti-state, so he's only entitled to all those things because he's just lucky that he lives in a state that will tolerate him. Go and live in China. Go and live in other countries that won't tolerate any dissent. You live in a democracy. As imperfect as they are, and I'm not saying they're perfect because they're not, but at the end of the day, they look after their citizens to an extent, don't they? So, what's the alternative? Without sort of boring people, but, when I was at university and I studied politics and the state and all that, and there's this sort of Rousseau-esque idea that the state is just necessary, isn't it? Society is necessary just to avoid people killing each other. This is it. What we're going to do, go to anarchy, no laws. Have someone like Dezi Freeman telling us what we can do. The state might not be perfect, but I'd rather have the state telling me what I could do than him. You know what I mean? What is he going to tell us? So he's going to turn into some sort of anti-hero. You can just see it coming. There'll be people out there going, yeah, go on, Dezi, yeah, kill them pigs and all this. These poor people that were just doing their day's work. Unbelievable to me. So I've forgotten who I said hello to now. Hi, Angel. Hi, I said hello to Lily, I think. Hi, Jane. Yeah, the battery's not charging, Maria, on my old phone. So the new phone that I bought it's just a crap phone. Just, it's too cheap. It was really cheap. But my old phone, which if I could get that working properly, it'd be brilliant. The battery's not charging, but it's not the charger because I've tried different chargers on it. It's the phone for whatever reason. Hi, Yvonne. Yeah, Jane, Erin, and yeah, criminals do think that, don't they? But they always get some people that sympathise with them, don't they? It's like. So someone made a comment and said, "Oh well, he's entitled to that disability pension." Well, yeah, he is entitled to. I'm not against him having his disability pension. I'm not the one that's saying you shouldn't get a disability pension. I'm the one who's saying don't criticise the state that's giving it you. If you didn't want to contribute towards that, well, you contributed towards it. You maybe the state was okay then, but now you've decided it isn't. I don't know. But take your benefits. I'm not saying don't criticise the state either. what I'm saying is, don't go out killing people. Don't go out killing policemen. That's not saying, oh, you can't say anything against the state. I'm not saying that at all. People, these people, they just don't get it, do they? Criticize the state if you're not happy with it. That's what democracy is about. Write to your MP, do a protest. At least you can do a protest without being shot. Some countries, you do a protest, you get shot. So do all those things. I'm not saying don't criticize or don't try and go for change, but don't murder people. It's not rocket science, is it? I admit. Okay, so I think I've said hello to everyone who's in the chat. If I haven't said hello to you, just say hello again and I'll come back and say hello again. Or make up for not saying hello. So, yeah, it's an interesting sort of case, really, because it's going to cause a lot of, I understand that people are anti-state, but if you ever ask them, well, what's your alternative? They haven't got an alternative. Get angry. You say, oh, well, what's the alternative then? And they go, well, if you're anti-state, if you're watching this and you're anti-state and you sympathise with Dezi, that's fine. Put your views here. Say what the alternative is. Debate it like a normal person. Don't leave nasty comments and criticize people and being personal insults and swearing like people have been doing. Make your case like a grown adult. Anyway, so the reason I'm coming on to talk about him is because he now has $1 million bounty on his head. $1 million is being offered for information leading to his capture. Oh my God. So that's how much the police want to find this guy. And you can't blame him, because at the end of the day, two of their own, two men doing their job, at the end of the day, doing their job, but, they've been murdered. It's murder and nothing more. Okay, so let's have a look at it. Hello, Yvonne. Oh, did I not say hello to you? I thought I had said hello to you. She's doing it in capitals now, so you really shout. I feel really shouted at her now. Oh, sorry, Yvonne. I didn't realise I said hello. I was probably ranting at the time when you came in. I like a little bit of a rant. A little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Okay, so let's have it. Yeah, $1 million reward. Well, I'll tell you what, if that doesn't bring some information, nothing will it? So let's see where it says here in this article from 7 News. Let me just have a little swig of my Coke. So the police offer $1 million reward for the arrest of alleged cop killer Dezi Freeman. They're still calling him alleged, but they're offering him $1 million reward. It will be the biggest payout for an arrest in Victoria's history. I mean, they're going to be really pissed off, aren't they, when 2 of their own have been murdered? Dezi, the best thing you can do is give yourself up, to be honest. Well, maybe, I don't know what will happen. Maybe, the police are going to be angry if someone, any job, before people start, because they killed a policeman or whatever. You imagine anywhere you've ever worked, whether it be the police, whether it be you've been a nurse, you've been a teacher. I've worked in the bookmakers, I've worked in lots of different places. When you hear of somebody being killed in their line of work, you're going to be really sympathetic, aren't you? So the police are no different. It's like, obviously, if you're a teacher and you hear of teachers being murdered by their students or whatever, you're going to be really angry. I mean, I don't have a $1 million reward to offer to anyone who kills a teacher, but quite often have hit teachers being murdered. And it does, it makes you feel angry, it makes you feel vulnerable. Or even if you work in Tesco, or whatever you do, like at the hospital or whatever, if you're a nurse, and often hospital staff get abused, don't they, and attacked, you would feel it more if you were a nurse as well. So there's nothing weird about the police feeling it more, because the police, they know that could be them. Any of those police officers that are going out there day in, day out, and whether, as I say, whether you like them or not, they're the people that you'd ring if you had a problem. Any one of them it could have been, and they're going to feel that. And that's human nature. Doesn't mean any more than that. So police are offering up a $1 million reward for the arrest of alleged cop killer Dezi Freeman, the largest award offered for an arrest in Victoria's history. So he's also known as Desmond Philby. That's his real name. He's called himself Dezi Freeman. He's been on the run from authorities since August the 26th, so a long time. When it's 3 weeks more or less, isn't it? When he allegedly shot dead 2 police officers, executing a search warrant at a property in Porepunkah. Detective leading Senior Constable Neil Thompson, 59, and Senior Constable Vadim DeWart Hotart were killed. 34 were killed, while a third officer was seriously wounded. Now, this detective leading Senior Constable, 59, Neil Thompson, he's probably not far off retirement. It's like a bloody Lethal Weapon film, isn't it? It's, something always seems to happen, doesn't it? Just as they're about to retire. This poor guy, just about to retire, probably 59 years old. And then the other guy's a younger guy. He's come from Europe, I think. He's not from Australia. That's it. Their life's gone, extinguished. It's not right. And just they were working, protecting people. That was their job, to go and arrest Dezi. It's not fair. Sorry. I have no sympathy for him at all. I have sympathy for his wife and his children. I have sympathy for the officers that he shot and their families. I don't have any sympathy for Dezi because he's a murderer. Whatever way you look at it, he's a killer, a murderer. He's caused devastation, and I hope he's caught soon. I don't want anything to happen to him. I want him to be caught and brought to justice. And a third officer also has been seriously injured. So, let's hope that he makes it. So he then fled into nearby bushland following the shooting, and despite extensive searches for the fugitive, he has not been found. And as the manhunt for Freeman nears its 3rd week, police have announced a reward of up to $1 million for information about his whereabouts that lead to his arrest. And the reward is the largest ever offered for an arrest in Victoria. And police had earlier said they believed Freeman was being helped or harboured by people in the local rural community. There have been a few arrests, haven't there? But then, they've just been released. So now they say there is nothing to suggest he's been assisted by a specific person. However, given the difficult terrain and the requirement for various supplies, this remains a possibility. And police are also open to the possibilities that he remains at large alone or is dead as a result of self-harm. He could have self-harmed himself, couldn't he? He could have just given up. I mean, if he's got nobody helping him, he might have just got to a point, because I presume he's got a gun with him. I don't know. He, might have just decided to give up. Or somebody might be helping him. He might be completely out of the area. So Detective Inspector Dean Thomas said it's hoped the reward will coax anyone out in the community with any information to come forward. And he said that the hunt for Freeman will only come to an end with assistance from members of the public. This figure recognises the seriousness of this violent offending and our commitment to locating him as soon as possible so he's no longer a risk to the broader community. Our aim in offering this reward is that it will lead someone out there who may not have been willing to come forward until this time to contact police. There is no doubt that up to $1 million is a life-changing amount. Oh my God. Somebody, if anybody knows anything, somebody's going to dob him in for that, I would imagine. But of course, maybe nobody does know anything. It has the potential to completely change their circumstances. So he was last seen wearing dark green tracksuit pants, dark green rain jacket, brown Blundstone boots and reading glasses. It's believed he remains armed, and residents in Porepunkah and surrounds are urged to be careful to not approach him. And anyone with any information about Freeman's whereabouts is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. So, more than 2,000 loved ones and 2,000, God, that's a lot of people, and fellow police officers gathered, or Victoria Police members gathered at the chapel inside the Victoria Police Academy on Friday morning for Senior Constable Vadim DeWart Hotart's funeral. His parents, Carolina and Alan, flew in from his native home country of Belgium, along with his younger brother who lives in Switzerland. So here, this is the devastation. So all you, supporters of Dezi, hope it never happens to your family because you're inviting karma on yourself. This poor guy and his poor family, whether you think, maybe you hate him because he's a policeman or whatever. What about his family? What about his brother? What about his parents? How would you feel if it was a member of your family? Do they not matter because they're police in your eyes? I'm talking to anti-staters here, supporters of Dezi. You need to go and take a look at yourself in the mirror and think, how would this be for you if it was your family? It's disgusting. Yeah, and you're supporting him. It's disgusting. He's a murderer. Whether he's anti-state or maybe you agree with his views, that's fine. But you can't agree with murder. Sorry, you can't. So Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, Premier Jacinta Allen and Police Minister Anthony Carbines also paid their respects. And delivering an emotional eulogy, Sasha said his older brother had always been his hero and protector. He was my very own superhero. He was my Batman, he said. When we grew up and I didn't need his protecting anymore, my brother found 23,000 new brothers and sisters in blue to keep protecting, and he found a way to continue helping everyone he could. Sasha asked that people celebrate his life and not focus on how it ended. Yeah, celebrate his life and everything that he did. He was contributing something to society. What's Dezi contributed, or what has he contributed lately, to society? This society that he doesn't believe in society or doesn't believe in the state. But the state is there to protect him, his family. His children might need the police one day. Oh, it's just ridiculous. Whether the state is not perfect. I agree. In most countries, it's not perfect. But what's the alternative? I'm just asking for an alternative. If people don't like it, they don't agree with it, you tell me what the alternative is. Someone's got to make law. This is how laws and things like that, they came out of anarchy, if you like, because there was in the Wild West. Let's take America for an example. pilgrims went over to America, there was lawlessness. They rode roughshod over all the Indians, the Native Americans, didn't they? And then they had to make laws because what can you do without laws or norms? And if you don't agree with the laws or norms, then you have to work in the society to change them. That's what democracy is. And as I say, it's not perfect, but you know what? The alternative is even worse. So Detective Leading Senior Constable Neil Thompson will be farewelled with full honours on Monday. I do like this word, farewell, to farewell someone. I've only heard it sort of recently. Has this been used in Australia for a long time? But it's a lovely expression, isn't it? To farewell someone. It just sounds better than to bury someone or to, I don't know. I like it. I like the expression. So he's been farewelled, bless him. He was the younger one. And his family, thanks this man. He's going to hell, unless he's, he doesn't seem to be sorry about it. At the end of the day, unless he's penitent, he feels penitent for it, he's going to hell, isn't he? So there you go. He deserves it. So we're just going to have a look now before I finish. Just want to look at the timeline of how it happened, because let's see, I've got it somewhere. There it is. Inside the evidence in the search for Parapunka gunman Dezi Freeman, because I haven't covered this right from the beginning. So this was on the ABC News 9 hours ago. I'm going to read this article. I'm just going to come back to chat, make sure you're all okay. Hey, David. Yeah, we don't think we have that expression in the UK, do we, to farewell someone? Don't think we have that expression in the UK. Trying to think in Spanish what they would say to despedirse a alguien. Yeah, to say farewell to someone in Spanish is despedirse. So they do have that verb, but we don't use that in. God, just spilt that all on me. We don't use that in the UK, do we? We don't talk about farewelling people. I don't think. Anyway, hi Geordie Lass. Did I miss Geordie Lass? David, have you got your night out tonight? You meet up with the boys, don't you, every now and again? Are you out with them tonight? Okay, so let's have a look at this article. So 2 police officers dead, another injured. 1 man escaped into the wilderness. The tiny town of Parapunka was thrown into the centre of the global media when Dezi Freeman allegedly gunned down 2 Victoria police officers on August the 26th. Do you know what? Dezi Freeman, this is what he changed his name to, isn't it? Sounds like some terrible game show host to me. Yeah, and now your host, Dezi Freeman. It doesn't have a good sound to me at all. Labelled armed and dangerous, the 56-year-old self-proclaimed sovereign citizen fled into the unforgiving bushland of Mount Buffalo National Park. Now, this is it. He says he's a sovereign citizen. That means he doesn't abide by rules and that, but he's always quoting the law. He claims his benefits. He quotes the law every 5 minutes, but he says he's a sovereign citizen. So, don't forget, if he bumped into you and you pissed him off, he might shoot you and say, I'm a sovereign citizen. I don't have to abide by the normal laws in this country. So, this is not a good thing to be a sovereign citizen. Hundreds of officers from multiple agencies have searched endlessly for a trace of the vanished man, but Mr. Freeman has not been seen by authorities. Now, it's Saturday. If you went out tonight and you had a few sherbets, had a few drinky poos, you're out, you're enjoying yourself, and then you get some idiot, like quite often happens, when you're out and about really drunk, looking for a fight, belligerent, decides normal laws, and not, it's not only laws, because of course society acts with norms as well as laws. There are things that are laws, you know, as well, but there are norms, aren't they? Like your norm is that you will not go up and start irritating somebody or touching a woman or touching a man, or, you know, these are norms of our society that then became laws as well. So you're out having a drink, you're having a great time, some idiot comes up, starts trying to talk to you, you don't want to talk to them. You don't have to talk to them if you don't want to talk to them. You know, so you're not obliged to talk to some drunken idiot that comes up to you and starts talking to you. So you say politely, don't you, you know, like, oh, sorry, you know, I'm not really into, I'm talking to my friends, or I don't really want a conversation, or, you know, you make some comment to them, and then they get irritated. What they're going to, like, they say, I'm a sovereign citizen, you're not going to tell me I can't talk to you. If I want to talk to you, I'll talk to you. And, you know, a lot of men, unfortunately, certainly years ago, and maybe hopefully younger men don't do it now, but I know a lot of middle-aged men still do it. Oh, it must be a lesbian. You know, you don't want to talk to this drunken, drooling idiot who probably stinks a little bit of BO or whatever. You must be a lesbian. If you don't like him, you've got to be lesbian. How can you not like him? You know what I mean? It's like, so what do you do? Well, if they insisted on irritating you, you phone the police. Of course you would. Phone the police, and the police are supposed to protect you from people like that. But if you're a sovereign citizen, you know, this idiot that's trying to chat you up or talk to you, and you don't want to be talked to, I'm a sovereign citizen, I'm not having the police telling me what to do. I talk to whoever I want. I irritate whoever I want. Nobody's going to tell me who I can irritate or not. Oh, you know, this is it. So it's just ridiculous, this anti-state thing. You have to hold the police to account. You know, is policing by consent, of course. But there's times when you'd really be glad of a police officer roundabout, wouldn't you? And the other thing I know, and I thought again today, is I do think in the UK, certainly, I don't know about other countries, it's hard to find police around, isn't it? Bobby's on the bee or whatever, you'd be struggling, wouldn't you? But honest God, every time I move out my door here in Spain, I only drove to take the dogs for a walk this morning, like 5 minutes around the corner. There's police are there. There's police you know, that is a good thing to have so many police around. You feel safe. You do feel safer. Because they're patrolling, they're just always present. You've got your Policia Local, your Guardia Civil. You don't see the Policia Nacional there. You don't see them just around your local vicinity, because that's not what they do. They deal with more national crimes and international crimes. But your Policia Local and your Guardia Civil, they're always patrolling around. It feels good. So sorry, might be anti-state. I like to see the police around. Do you know what I mean? I like to see them around. It makes me feel safer from idiots like Dezi Freeman, who sounds like some terrible game show host. Sorry, I had a little rant there, didn't I? So hundreds of officers from multiple agencies have searched endlessly for a trace of a vanished man, but Mr. Freeman has not been seen by authorities. So here's what we know about those at the centre of the search for Australia's most wanted man. So here, Dezi himself, Dezi Freeman, known as Desmond Philby, accused of killing 2 police officers and injuring a third in a shootout in Porepunkah on August the 26th. So in the past, he has expressed ideas associated with the sovereign citizen movement. What do sovereign citizens? So what happens if one sovereign citizen has problems with another sovereign citizen? Do they ring the police then? Anyway, he called the police terrorist thugs and was involved in an attempt to have former Premier Daniel Andrews tried for treason. Sorry, it's ludicrous. honestly. I know, you know, he's probably wasn't a brilliant prime minister. I don't know, but you know, come on. Anyway, so Mr. Freeman took a Victoria police officer to the Supreme Court last year over the cancellation of his driver's license for 2 years. He was last seen on August 26 running towards dense bushland behind his property, sparking a major manhunt involving several hundred officers. Authorities say Mr. Freeman is an experienced bushman who knows the dense bushland area better than authorities. And this is why it reminds me a lot of Travis Decker as well. He was in America. He was last seen wearing dark green tracksuit pants, a dark green rain jacket, brown Blundstone boots, and reading glasses. Oh, well, if he wants to read a book while he's wandering around the bush, at least he's got his reading glasses with him. So he'd be grateful for that, won't he? Hi, Princess. I'm just trying to make sure. Yeah. Hi, Anna. Yeah, Dezi, Arnez, Maria. Yeah. Ah, dear, oh dear. Just anyway, I don't mean to, you know, make light of it. It's a very serious case, but it just sort of amazes me how people can support him. It just does. I mean, how can they support him? What's he going to do for them ever? You know what? Hi, Tracy. Yeah, we do. Okay. Sorry, got engrossed reading the chat then. So I think you're all okay. So the victims, Neil Thompson. So he's the older guy, isn't he? Detective leading senior constable Neil Thompson had served with Victoria Police for nearly 40 years. So 40 years service, and this twonk just takes his life. So he spent 7 years at the Collingwood Police Station in Melbourne before taking up his most recent post at Wangaratta in 2007. He had recently built a new home and was planning for his imminent retirement. I said that, didn't I? With his partner, Lisa. So as I say, it's like like a Lethal Weapon film or whatever, you know, these films that the cops that are always due to retire, it's like a standing joke, but this has really happened to him in real life. He deserved his retirement. 40 years service, he deserved to have a peaceful retirement and enjoy his new home with his partner. And yeah, he's had that taken away from him. Vadim, let's have a look at him. He's the younger guy. So he'd been with Victoria Police for 7 years and joined the Public Order Response Team in April 2023. The 35-year-old had previously studied and worked in Europe. He was fluent in English, French, Spanish, and Flemish. Wonder what languages Dezi is fluent in. Bullshit. That's probably what he's fluent in. He had a passion for scuba diving and motorcycling with his friends and colleagues. He's survived by his parents, poor parents who've got to bury him, who live in Belgium, and his younger brother in Switzerland, as well as extended family in Melbourne. God rest both those two guys. Now, the injured officer, then, let's have a look at. He's not been named yet. He was shot in the lower body during the execution of a police warrant. Just doing their job, you know. At the end of the day, they're just doing their job. If you've got a, you know, what you do, if you think you're being arrested unfairly, well, afterwards is the time, isn't it, to start questioning it. The officer was flown to Melbourne for surgery and remains in hospital in a stable condition. And Chief Commissioner Bush said the officer was significantly damaged but would recover. Well, that's good. At least that's some good news. It looks like he will recover. Let's hope so. Prayers for him. Prayers that he recovers. So here's the timeline. Tuesday, August the 26th, around 10:30 a.m., 2 police were killed and 1 is seriously injured after a shooting at a rural property in Porepunkah in northeast Victoria while conducting a warrant for alleged historical sexual abuse. So don't forget about this either. So all you out there that are thinking Dezi Freeman is this fabulous guy, they were trying to arrest him for sexual abuse. Would you want him around your wife, your child, your sister? You know, somebody's made a complaint against him for sex abuse. So they weren't trying to arrest him for speaking up against the state. Everyone's entitled to speak up against the state if they want to. This is what, he's not a nice person. God, what's wrong with you sticking up for him? So he was last seen running into bushland. A major manhunt begins. Wednesday, August the 27th, Porepunkah's primary school, Alpine Shire Council facilities and some local businesses close. Residents are told to lock doors and remain inside as the manhunt escalates. Authorities enact an aircraft ban in the area. And police reveal he is an experienced bushman who knows the region better than authorities. Thursday, August the 28th, police warn anyone helping to Mr. Freeman to evade police will face criminal charges. Residents are again warned to stay inside. The police offer a surrender plan to Mr. Freeman, and the alleged gunman's wife, Amalia Freeman, and teenage son are arrested at a Porepunkah address and released without charge. And authorities reveal they are working on the theory that the 56-year-old fugitive is in the area. I think he might be deceased, but, I think that about Travis Decker as well, but he's not been found. Friday, August the 29th, police are exploring alleged sighting of Mr. Freeman since the fatal shootings. Premier Jacinta Allen and Victoria Police Chief Commissioner Mike Bush. I mean, you couldn't make it up, could you, Mike Bush? Sorry, it just appeals to my sense of humour. He's lost in the bush and he's been looked for by Mike Bush. Visit Wangaratta Police Station. 450 police officers are on the ground as storms start to roll into the region. So, yeah, they've had problems with the weather conditions as well. With damage and winds forecast, cold temperatures and blizzard conditions, residents are allowed to go about their daily business with caution. Porepunkah businesses are open but remain quiet as police tell travellers to avoid the area. Oh, you wouldn't want to go anywhere near that area, would you, when he's on the loose? Oh, my God, you'd be terrified. Wouldn't you? Absolutely terrified. He's 56, Maria, I think. 56, 57. Saturday, August the 30th, the search moves from the Feathertop Winery venue at Porepunkah to the Department of Energy, Environment and Climate Action site at Ovens. Police reveal they are questioning a 61-year-old man who was arrested in Bright in connection to weapons and cannabis, with the link to Mr. Freeman, an ongoing investigation. Sunday, August the 31st, his wife urges her husband to surrender and offers her condolences to the families of the 2 killed police officers via a statement issued by a lawyer. I feel so sorry for his wife. Honestly, the best thing she can do is just divorce him. Whatever happens, she should be down by the lawyer, say, just put divorce papers in action. Monday, September the 1st, police establish a mobile unit in Bright to connect with the public and gather information. Police tell media that people know where Mr. Freeman is and offer a surrender plan to anyone harbouring or helping him. And they reveal that they believe Mr. Freeman is being helped by people in the community. So that's September the 1st. September the 2nd, more than 450 pieces of public information have been received by police and are bolstering the police's commitment to retain officers on the ground. Wednesday, September the 3rd, Chief Bush says it is an obvious possibility that Mr. Freeman is being harboured from the police by his friends, and they confirm they have searched more than 100 properties as the hunt continues. Friday, September the 5th, Senior Constable Vadim Dewart is farewelled at a police funeral in a chapel at the Victoria Police Academy in Melbourne's East. How sad. Detective leading Senior Constable Neil Thompson, the other guy who was murdered, will be remembered at a separate police funeral on Monday. So Saturday, which is today, so this is the very latest news today, Victoria Police offer a $1 million reward for information leading to Dezi Freeman's. Sorry, every time I say Dezi Freeman, I just think of Desi Arnaz or don't know what it reminds me of, but it's just ridiculous name. It is the largest reward offered in Victorian history for facilitating an arrest. Other $1 million rewards have been offered, but only for information leading for a conviction. So this is the most that's ever been offered for leading to an arrest. Oh, so my God, look, there's all these. Oh, let's have a look at the dog squad. The dog squad are involved. Oh, the Victoria Police. So there have been 177 Victoria Police officers killed on duty since the organisation was established in 1853. You should not be killed. At the end of the day, is a chance, when you go into the police, that there's a chance that you might get killed because of the job that you're doing. But even so, it's not right. So the Bearcat, the Lenco Bearcat, is designed for sieges, counter-terrorism operations and catching armed offenders. It's bullet and blast resistant, a 9-ton vehicle featuring a 6.7 litre V8 turbo diesel engine and off-road capability. So they're using that. Special Operations Group, the response to critical incidents, including sieges, etc. And for operational reasons, they're often pictured with their faces covered or blurred by media outlets. The Air Wing, that'll be the helicopters, etc. What's the other? The Australian. What's the other one? Oh, SOSIT. What's SOSIT? Oh, this. So, see, this makes you wonder, doesn't it? What were they trying to arrest him for? Because included in this search for Dezi are the sexual offences and child abuse investigation teams. The warrant search Mr. Freeman's home is understood to be related to alleged historical sexual offences. So this guy's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit, isn't he? You can call him, yeah, I'm a free citizen. I'm anti-state. I'm like that. Yeah, I can abuse whatever children I want. Nobody tells me what to do. God, awful man. Awful man, isn't he? I've got to put my twonk emoji up. Total twonk. So all you defending him, would you leave him babysitting your kids? Whatever. Don't forget, he's not wanted because he's spoken up against the state. He's wanted for sex offences. Are you really saying that they shouldn't have turned up with that? They were just doing their job anyway. Someone's issued a search warrant. They're there to search the home, and he shot them and killed them. Killed 2 of them. That's not the sign of an innocent man, is it? Bloody hell. Oh, come on. Think. He's not a good person. You know, he's not a political prisoner. You know, he's a piece of shit. He's a sex offender, or he might be. And if he isn't, then he should, you know, plead his innocence, not murder. You know, there's no more admittance of your guilt than killing the people that come round to arrest you. Oh, for fuck's sake! Sorry, excuse my French, but you know, just amazes me. Just amazes me how people can support twonks like this. How can you? How can you? So these are the places. Porapunka, this little town nestled at the foot of Mount Buffalo and on the banks of the Ovens River. It's only home to 1,000 people, or just over, you know, it's a small place, isn't it, where he's gone missing from. Mount Buffalo, this is the national park, home to more than 550 species of native plants, 31,000 hectares in size, and its highest point stretches to an elevation of 1,723 meters. A popular place for snow play, caving, climbing, camping, swimming and bushwalking. So I don't think that'll be opening up until he's found, or I don't know. And he's gone off the Rainer track. It's an unsealed track just off the main road to Mount Buffalo and perched above the Buckland River. There's only one way in and one way out. And the ABC understands he was living in a bus on a property at the end of the Rainer track where he allegedly shot the police. He was last officially seen here on August the 26th, fleeing into the local nearby bushland. Okay, so there you go. I hope I've given you a good overview of this case. I'll be following it 100% till there's some resolution. We'll be following it. I hope he's caught soon. I hope he's arrested. Don't want anything to happen to him. I have no, you know, don't want him to die or be shot. But he needs to give himself up. But I think he's a piece of shit. I don't think he's a nice person. Don't think, you know, anyone who's out there, you know, cheering him on, you really think that this man would do anything for you if you needed him? Nah. And you couldn't have him in your house with your kids or your wife or anyone, really. We don't know what these sexual offences were. You know, he's not trustworthy, is he? He's not a nice person. It's not whether he's anti-state or not. He's not a good person. Okay. Yeah, I shouldn't swear on YouTube. Do you know what? I shouldn't, because YouTube don't like it. But do you know what? Sometimes these people are just so irritating. How can you not swear? I don't think I really swear too badly. But anyway, right, now I'm going because I'm starving. I haven't even had any breakfast this morning due to all the things that were going on, trying to get my phone sent back, etc. So I'm going to go and make a spaghetti bolognese. That's what I'm having. And thank you for watching. Thank you for caring about these two policemen. We don't care about Dezi really, though. I do care about him because he's a father. So I won't want anything bad to happen to him. I hope he's, you know, I hope he's brought back to justice. But, you know, I feel sorry for his wife. I feel sorry for his kids. I don't have any sympathy for him at all. Now, I'm going to play this song now that will cheer you all up as we finish off. This is a song the song was written by one of my members, and I put a video together for it, and I think I'm going to premiere it here today. Admit, yes, it was Admit. So I'll see you really soon in the next video, and until then, may your God go with you, and whatever you do, look after yourself. Thank you so much. Let's have a look at this video. Hope you like it.
Click that like if you're smiling today. Give a follow to help spread the play. Share the play with friends everywhere, so more can laugh and show they care. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide, don't hide. Join Vicky Marie's Ride Worldwide. Tap that bell so you never miss a dose of love and endless bliss. YouTube others, search my name, Vicky Marie, let's grow this flame. Thanks for the support, you're the best crew. Now go tell the world you know what to do. Vicky Marie, ha ha ha. You Marie,
Ha ha ha.
let's glide now. Click that like if you're smiling today. Give a follow to help spread the play. Share the joy with friends everywhere, so more can laugh and show they care. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide. Like, follow, share, subscribe, don't hide, don't hide. Let's grow this flame. Click that like if you're smiling today. Give a follow to help spread the play. Share the joy with friends everywhere, so more can laugh and show they care.